Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party
Transformers!
Victory Saber is fully funded. This week, Mike joins us as we discuss that and the upcoming Trainbot combiners from Moon Studios and Takara. Today is Wednesday, October 13th, 2021, and this is episode 455 of Transmission.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that knows if Transformers fans were to play Squid Game, the first game would be Jumpstarter Races. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hi, and I guess that means that it would be at DairyCon because they have those every year.
Creator, producer, and star of Empire of Rust, Editor Mike.
Is that anything like Russian roulette?
Apparently in Squid Game, yes. And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
I've been trying to rack my brain as to what other Transformers related things could be done as, like, you know, Squid Game games. And I think also you could do like Optimus Prime transformations, like G1 Optimus Prime transformations in like a Rubik's Cube kind of a deal, like Rubik's Cube races, but you got to transform Optimus Prime. That'd be kind of fun too.
Do Unicron transformation.
That takes too long, but yeah.
I know.
Win and go on, lose and you
anything.
die. Let's talk Transformers.
All right. As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who give us money on Patreon and PayPal, who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Sorry, DJ Ronan. And we really appreciate all those folks who continue to help out the show and, keep the lights on. We really appreciate that. If you'd like to become a Donatreon, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. That's where you can sign up either on Patreon or PayPal. One of the perks of being a Donatreon is that you get access to awesome exclusive content like Empire of Rust special episodes. This week we have the second episode in the Empire of Rust Transmissions collaboration. This is our, of course, Empire of Rust is the live play Transformers RPG podcast run by our own Mike. And Mike hosted a game with myself and Yoshi from Transmissions and Pat and Matt from Empire of Rust, playing all new characters for this Empire of Rust side story. And this is part 2 called Le Mort de Shatter. And this is available exclusively to Donatreons on our Patreon page. So you should already have access as this episode goes up. Mike, do you want to give a tease for this this special episode, this part 2 of the Transmissions collaboration?
Yeah, sure. Why not? It's a good time. You should watch. You should listen to it. Succinct and to the point.
It's worth becoming a Donatreon to get it.
Yeah, we actually had a couple of people join, like specifically when like these episodes started too. So thank you to everyone who took the plunge and joined to listen to these. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. We got another month's worth of special episodes coming up for Patreons. So yeah.
And, of course, regular Empire of Rust fans, we still love you guys as well, because there's another brand new episode of Empire of Rust, and this is episode 60, Patient. And this is also just available in the free Empire of Rust feed, so at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. So enjoy. This is the start of a brand new adventure. So the team is actually leaving Cybertron. So, some exciting things happening very soon. Anything we can tease here for this one, Mike?
You said it all. They're leaving Cybertron. This is going to be turning into a space opera for a little while. So yeah, it's good times.
All right, and Mike, this is becoming a Mike-filled plug intro here, but you actually did a guest spot on another podcast. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
What?
Yeah, I was talking to the folks on APOD Dcast, the Autopod Decepticast. I've been listening to these guys since I think it was episode 2, and Jeremy, you're the one who kind of turned me on to them. So,
Oh, okay. Then you're fine.
I sent them an email a couple weeks ago and said like, "Hey, I'd love to come on the show and do an episode with you." They do reviews of G1 episodes. They started off their show with a minute-by-minute review of the '86 movie. They did the G.I. Joe movie too, and they're approaching the end of season 2 on G1 right now. So I joined them for the episode War Dawn, which should be live, I think, right after TFCon, early November. So yeah, it's a good conversation, and look forward to hearing me on there if you are inclined to listen to review podcasts like that. It's a fun time.
All right. Well, we will be sure to get a link into our show notes when the episode goes up. We'll link to the APOD Dcast right now, so you can just listen if you want to subscribe to them and just listen to all their episodes. But then
they're good guys.
Yeah, they are. And we will make sure to have Mike's episode in the show notes as soon as it comes up, and we'll remind everyone when that comes up. So awesome. All right. Before we jump right into the toy news, we do have one. It's a an unfortunate note, I guess a sad note. But Epic has decided she's no longer interested in podcasting with us, and it's nothing. We're still friends. Everything's fine. Everything's cool. But she just felt like she wanted to move on from podcasting. So we, of course, respect her wishes and appreciate all the time and effort she put into being on transmissions with us. So we're sad to see her go, but we wish her all the best and thank her for the time she spent on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, she just has other priorities in her life at the moment. She's not. It's not that she doesn't want to podcast with us. She's got to prioritize things. It's only so many hours in a week.
She did just get a brand new job that she used to work from home, and now she's working elsewhere. And she did say that if we did get into a bind and we did need somebody to help out, that she still owns the equipment to podcast. So
I thought what she said was that if you needed someone to give you a bunch of shit, she'd be happy to come on.
Specifically, Daryl.
Yes, she should be here now. But yeah, so she may drop in from time to time just to ensure that her equipment still works, and just to give me some shit. So who knows?
Yeah,
I might hear her still.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so it's not a a huge deal. It's just her time commitments changed, so she wasn't able to commit to a regular monthly schedule with us. So so. Thanks a bunch, Epic, for hanging out with us, and we will definitely when time permits and when you have the opportunity, we'll always be happy to have you back on. So, all right, so let's jump right into toy news.
Here we go again. We're going to do it one last time. I think we're going to talk about the Haslab Victory Saber project. All right, and man, what a week we just had with regards to this project. Last week we were at what were we at, Jeremy? We just got it funded last week.
It was just funded. We didn't have any of the tiers yet.
That's right. So we were looking to get to tier 1, and and it was we were discussing the option of hitting that 20,000. It didn't look very promising. Because it was so many and it took so long to get to that 11,000. Well, here we are. It is Sunday the 10th, the last day that we are recording for this project, currently sitting at 2 hours and 3 minutes left. and we have 21,803 backers right this very moment. That means we hit all 3 tiers, every single tier. And that was something we kind of speculated at last week, is that regardless of what happens, behind, in the public eye, that they were going to find a way to make these tiers happen. They were going to get the numbers, kind of fudged. But it's happened. We're getting it all. It's all going to be done. And I'm happy. And that's something to look at. And we got a question that's going to come up in a second here, but I'm just going to touch on a couple things here. So that 3rd tier that we did get is the Victory Saber V Shield and the Micromasters. So that's coming. And lastly, there is one other thing that does deal with this project, and that is that there is a great interview on that was released with the Victory Saber designer Hasashi Yuki, and it's really cool to look through. If you go through it, it does touch on a couple things here, including the fact that the Victory or the Star Saber figure was going to be, or is a leader class. Victory Leo is a Voyager class figure. Combined, it's going to be about as tall as Masterpiece Star Saber. And then Yuki-san goes into some detail about the previous incarnation, the original G1 Star Saber, shows some original design sketches, and then an updated sketch for the G1. It's a very cool interview, so if you get a chance, take a look at that. But we do have a question from Masterpiece Donatreon, John 4X11 Good, who's going to ask us something regarding this project. Jeremy.
Hey guys, John 4X11 Good here again. Just got wind of the news that Victory Saber is at 20,000 backers for Tier 3, and I am excited for that. However, as you guys mentioned last week, there might be some Haslab Unicron math to get up to that tier, and it seems like that's the case. Because if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, we were only at 11,000 backers last week around this time, getting us Tier 1. So that's 9,000 more backers in a week. My personal guess is outside retailers dropping in their orders, and maybe some international orders coming in. But what do you guys think? I mean, yeah, I definitely agree. Unicron math. So talk to you later. Bye.
All right. Well, John, that's a great question. And, I don't think we're ever going to know for sure what officially was done. But it's something that you look at the optics of it, and it does look a little fishy. Like you said, 9,000 backers. Well, it's 10,000 now, 10,000 and a half in a week. That's an awful lot. Jeremy, what do you think happened here? Do you think that there's been some Unicron math going on here? That you think that they kind of had this all kind of set in stone already, and just they're kind of playing us as fools?
I don't know. I mean, I do think Unicron was fishy. Since it hasn't even ended yet, they didn't have to extend it like they did Unicron. I think it is kind of what he was suggesting with like retailers putting in orders. It wouldn't surprise me if Hasbro held back those numbers until these last few days, just to kind of give them another boost, kind of towards the end, and maybe spur some more individual people jumping onto the campaign. But I think it's less likely here that they're having to fudge the numbers, because you have a $600 thing versus a $200 thing. It's more affordable for more people than Unicron was. I mean, we all aren't people like Charles that can just do a Unicron and not even think about it.
Just go buy a 75-inch TV.
I had to think about it.
It's true. I don't believe you had to think about it very, very long. But it's true that this is definitely cheaper than Unicron, and it's it didn't take much to seemingly get to this stage we're at. But Charles, we'll go to you. You are now a backer of this project, so you will be getting a Star Saber.
Yes.
are you excited now? Are you happy? Do you think some shenanigans were pulled here in this last little bit, this last 24 hours or so, this 48-hour window that just kind of exploded with backers?
I don't think it's full on shenanigans. Like, I don't think these are made up backers or anything like that. I mean, I do think. I mean, I guess I haven't been paying attention to how the numbers have been rolling. Like, I haven't seen a huge chunk or jump in an instantaneous jump. It seems like to be pretty organic. So, like, numbers steadily growing, steadily increasing. I mean, it just seems like it's a lot of trouble to fake that than to have it actually happening. And I'm sure there were probably, like, if a retailer put in like 1,000 or 500 orders or whatever, and you see that jump somewhere, then that's probably where Hasbro is kind of just picking and choosing when to put those retail orders in, rather than just letting them, than putting them in as soon as they get them. But I mean, I think at least the last 48 hours or so, it seems like it's just gotten momentum. And I think this is what happens in a lot of crowdfunding campaigns. You see huge spikes at the beginning and at the end. Like, you have a spike at the beginning where all the people who are really excited get it. And then at the end, you see all the people who get the FOMO and say, okay, if this is really going to happen, I should get in on it. And I think when people saw like Thursday or Friday, the numbers getting within striking distance, I think, it kind of snowballed. I think, because it's not like people were not paying attention to this. I mean, I just use myself as an example. I waited until last week to back it, but, I was aware of it and paying attention to it. So I'm sure there were a lot of Transformers fans paying attention to it. And, I think that could have been natural momentum. So, I say, without any evidence of shenanigans, I would say accept that it was a natural phenomenon. So that's how science works, I guess.
Sure.
You are the doctor.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I was watching kind of out side-eyeing it today as I was doing other things, but I was kind of refreshing the page and every now and then. But I did see like one go in, and then two went in, and then a group of 5 went in, and then, it seemed to grow, like you were saying, organically. And then I missed like 2 hours of it, and then it was over 20,000, and I was like, oh shit, it's done. It's, we've hit everything. So, it did seem to be some kind of a progression of just, everybody just kind of getting in on at the end. But yeah, I mean, Mike, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, you're getting this as well, right?
Actually, didn't back this. No.
What the? So what the hell, man? I mean, do we have to come down on you as well and really, put the boots to you to get this thing to happen?
Drop the hammer on me?
Yeah.
As we record this, there's still 2 hours left. So theoretically, Mike could do this.
See, now Charles gets in on the peer pressure after he's the company.
Yeah, that's right.
One of us. Come on.
The peer pressure's nice on this side, eh, Charles?
I think I kind of come in like somewhere in the middle on this one, because they're not using a typical crowd funding site like a Kickstarter or something. They can do whatever the hell they want. I mean, they don't have there's no rule or regulation or law or anything that says that the numbers that they're putting up there are accurate at all. I mean, they can do whatever the hell they want. They don't even have to say we're not going to fund it if it doesn't reach this number. They could say, hey, because let's be honest, if it reached like 11,000, if it reached like just say 100 under the target, right? Then they'd still do it, because there's no point to not do it.
They would just internally or if they would bump up the numbers and
yeah, exactly.
You don't have to be honest.
Right. With Haslab, it's 100% opaque. Like, I really didn't think that there was any chance of this one, not funding, and two, I would be very surprised if it didn't hit all of its stretch goals or all of its tiers. And lo and behold, in the last couple of days, like boom, there we go. It's made everything it needed to, and I'm not surprised at all, not even a little bit. I like that they did the MicroMasters for that last tier, though, because they announced that after the last episode I was on. I wish they did more of that. Like, I wish they did like the whole like rescue patrol, because that was kind of a big thing in Victory. Whereas like the gun and like the shield is like that's just part of the design. That's not a stretch goal. Just pop it on there. Come on. But we'll see. We'll see. We still got 2 hours left. There's a small chance I'll back it, but
Do it. All right. Well, that's going to end the Haslab updates, at least for now. We'll see what happens, and I'm sure we'll touch on this when we get when they send along like those updates, like this is where we're at in construction of the thing, and this is where we're at in shipping, and maybe they'll send us a video of them dropping the box and shit. So there's a video of Dan dropping a box. So we're going to move on to my actual topic, and that is I'm going to talk about the Trainbots again, because this week again the Trainbots seem to be center stage on social media, and I'm going to touch on the Moon Studios ones. Pictures of Dark Knight and Iceland made their debuts on social media thanks to Dime Chalk's Facebook page. We've got size comparisons, and these things blew my freaking mind. We're going to look first at the robot mode, and they start off these pictures with comparing him to MP10, and they're exactly the same height as MP10, perhaps even a little bigger because MP10's in the foreground. But these guys are massive, absolutely massive. And I'm thoroughly impressed with their robot modes. Very clean, not a lot of kibble. I'm really impressed with the way these guys look. Now, again, like I talked about last week, is both of these guys are essentially the same robot mode because they have to form the legs. So they've used the exact same kind of skeleton. They've slapped some different shell on them to make them look like different trains. Put some different head and a different chest plate on them, painted them different colors, and called them different things, but they're the same. So these guys are apparently going to be the first two to come out for Moon Studios, but that's these two. The next set of pictures, also from Dime Chalk, are the leg mode comparisons. So they did transform these guys into their leg modes and compared them, and damn, this is what blew my mind. It is the leg modes come up to MP10's shoulders. This Raiden figure is going to be immense, absolutely towering over most of the stuff that's been put out recently. It's, you think it's going to be a Titan class size thing, it's going to be bigger. This is going to be an absolute giant on your shelf. I am so impressed with the look of these things. The leg modes look clean, and there's no kibble sticking out. The articulation on the ankles is great. It can go forward and back and side to side, and I'm beyond words impressed with the way that these leg modes look. So, Jeremy, let's jump in. And what you think of these Moon Studios Ice Pick, or what are their names? Sorry, I forgot. Dark Knight and Iceland.
Ice Pick. Yeah, I think they look really good. Like you said, the size of them, I wasn't really expecting them to be on par with MP10 in robot mode. So that's just going to be a massive combiner. And I think they look great. I think I commented last week about the colors. I thought that was this one, wasn't it? There's so many trains, and I'm going to have more trains later. I love the colors on these, the green and the blue. And these photos look really good. Give us a really kind of solid picture of what these guys are going to look like, and I'm very impressed. I'm not one to buy third-party combiners, but I really think this is going to be an impressive looking set when they're all done.
Right on. Mike, you weren't with us last week when we really dug into this. What are your thoughts on this Moon Studios combiner, and what do you think of these new size comparison pictures?
This thing is beautiful looking, man. Wow. I honestly, I love the look of these. I have no real complaints about this. I mean, these things are massive, which I love to see. They're beautiful looking. They have like sculpting on it, but they still look really clean and really smooth, that's what I expect from like a masterpiece quality figure. And yeah, I mean, these are just absolutely stunning and beautiful. The only thing I can like nitpick even a little bit is that the accessory pieces, like those like giant gun things that stick on the side, they're a little lackluster, but even then, it's a nitpick. I mean, that's exactly what it was in G1. They were just little guns that stuck on the side, and they looked kind of weird even then. So, not much you can do about that.
Yeah.
I suppose I'm a little concerned about the upper legs, like the thighs into the waist. I don't remember how that was done in G1, and I'm just not certain how that's going to look. Like, I keep on thinking of like the solid plastic pieces that the Micromaster Trainbots had to connect, which was kind of lame looking. But yeah, I'm sure they're going to do a good job of it. It's just like I'm having trouble visualizing what that's going to look like.
If I remember correctly, and I do have one of my pieces of the G1 Raiden does have is the waist piece. They do actually connect into another train component. So I'm assuming one of the trains that's forthcoming will be a piece that becomes the hips and upper thighs. You won't
red
have
and
any
gray one, I think, right?
I know the red one becomes the head, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head which ones they were. I'm sure Quattro, if he's in the chats, would. So
Quattro, right in.
Yeah. So these things are just I'm eagerly awaiting the next picture of what they're doing next. I hope it's the hips so that you don't have just a bunch of arms and legs kicking around. Charles, you want to ride the train with me?
Come on, ride the train.
And ride it. Choo choo. Come on, ride that train. And ride it.
That's a Quad City DJ's reference for you kids.
This is your, I guess, your weekly reminder that the 90s are now the 50s.
That was popular in my freshman year of college.
These Trainbots do look great. The leg modes look really clean. The robot modes look really clean. I'm sure the train modes look great too. And yeah, the size are massive. That's impressive. I hope the ride and combiner can stand on its own weight. that might be a non-trivial concern. I'm curious to see what the final ride and combiner will look like. But yeah, I mean, these figures are impressive. I hope they get to make them all. I mean, it's a little interesting to see them doing this side-by-side competition with Takara Tomy, so I guess we'll see how both sides end up.
There is a picture on TFW with a render. Here it is, with a render of what the Moon Studios riding will look like. So you can see how tall that thing is, and you're just at the tops of those legs there, and you're not even at the thighs yet. So, wow. Anyway, that's the topic I had for today. Jeremy, would you also like to talk about trains?
I would.
Great.
Trains are just, it's the in thing for the 2021 season. We have official images for the Takara Masterpiece Shuki or Shioki. This is going to be the chess piece of the Raiden Trainbot that Takara Tomy is putting out. It looks really good. we see him in various posable situations. He's holding his gun. There's also a video that they put out that shows a bunch of other poses. Also comparison, like size comparison. It looks like he's going to be, I'm guessing these are the Masterpiece, like Sideswipe and Prowl and Ultra Magnus. So he's going to be on par with, probably a little bit taller than Masterpiece, Sideswipe, and Prowl. Maybe about 3/4 the size of Masterpiece, Ultra Magnus. But, you know, he's just one piece of a combiner. One thing that I thought was neat here is it comes with a section of track, and I'm guessing that every one of these is going to come with a section, because it looks like the tracks are connectable. So, like, if you want to display them all in train mode, you could connect all those tracks. But they also, apparently in the anime, which I've never seen, there's like a flying train mode where you see the train flying in space. And it looks like there's an attachment for the train tracks that will then hold up the train like in vehicle mode as if it's flying. I think that is really cool. And this thing, I mean, I guess the biggest complaint I have, and it's not really a complaint because I'm sure it's accurate to the actual train, is just the kind of like off-white color of the body. But, you know, I'm sure the actual train looks just like that. And then it does look like it also comes with a little figurine. I'm not sure what character that is, but it's the normal crap human character that comes with Masterpiece figure.
Spike.
Oh, it is Spike.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's in that era costume, like the futuristic, you know, 2005, 2010, you know, what we're all supposed to be wearing, those jumpsuits.
It does look like Spike, at least that's what I thought
a little
it was.
bit. The face detail is horrible. I mean, it's just, I don't understand why they do this. They're spending all their money on the robot side, which I guess they should. But I think this is really, really impressive. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the combiner. I mean, just how big this is going to be compared to the others. I guess if the one we just talked about is going to be MP10 size, this will be smaller, but it still looks pretty good. Daryl, what are your thoughts? You know, comparing it to the third-party ones, but you know, just what do you think Takara is going to do here?
Well, first off, you guys haven't been measured for your futuristic jumpsuits yet?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that
must be part of your socialized healthcare. You must get that role.
Well, yeah, everybody gets socialized healthcare, and then everyone gets a one-piece future jumpsuit.
Well, those future jumpsuits are now 11 years old, so they're
vintage, that's what comes
with
socialism. You know, you don't get anything new. I think this looks good. I love the train mode. I think by comparing these official Takara Masterpiece ones with the Moon Studio trains, they are actually much bigger. These original or these official Takara Masterpiece ones are actually much bigger train modes.
Oh, the train modes are. The robot modes are shorter.
Yes, the train modes are much bigger. And I love it. And the color you're talking about is the color of the train. I mean, one of the slides is them focusing in on the actual color of the train and saying, you know, looking at the actual color, and showing that it is like, that's the color of the damn train. Like, you know, it's not a mistake. I love the fact that you can open up the, you know, quote unquote cockpit, and it's got two seats in it that can, you know, you can put people in. I think that's fantastic. You know, the Moon Studios one does not have anything like that. I believe the Moon Studios one is coming with track. I think we talked about that as well, which, so the fact that they're both coming with track kind of cancels each other out. I would have loved...
If you're putting out a train and you don't include any track, then you're doing it wrong.
Yes. So I would have liked to see, and they wouldn't have known which, you know, Moon Studios wouldn't have known what Takara was going to put out first, and vice versa. So it's kind of comparing apples to oranges here with the Shoki one with the ones from Moon Studios, because it's not the same component piece. When I look at the Shoki figure, all I see is this immense amount of kibble, hanging off of this figure. Now, it's likely very accurate to the original toy. I think I have it, in fact, but it's buried somewhere in a box, so I haven't pulled it out. But I think I have the original Shoki figure, and they are very, kibbly. You see what component he makes on the Raiden figure, and he's the whole chest, right? Mm-hmm. So he's got to be able to be pretty big. He's got to kind of flatten out and become the chest piece, which, there's all your kibble there. So I'd like to see what the Moon Studios one, kind of does for this, how they answer this problem, and what their Shoki figure, their quote unquote Shoki figure is, and how it kind of looks in robot mode, before I kind of compare the two. But right now, when I look at these two, all I see is the kibble kind of hanging off of them.
Cool. Mike, what are your thoughts on this? Are you interested in Trainbots?
Looking at all this stuff, I kind of am. I am seriously considering putting some pre-orders down for one of these sets, and it really is so much like Daryl was saying, like apples and oranges on here, because each one does some really, really interesting things, and each one does something different and something unique. I'll agree with you, Daryl, though, that train mode looks absolutely beautiful. Mm-hmm. The robot mode, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. But the thing is, the Moon Studios one, I'm not really that in love with the train mode, other than the robot mode there either. So it's really a mix on that one. I'm loving the way the combined elements look on the Moon Studios one. I'm not really the biggest fan of the way the chest looks on this one, the combined chest, where you can see the split nose of the train on it. That's not so great. So it really is a toss-up, because each one does something really good and something not great, and vice versa. So Moon Studios has me at least for price, so that's nice. But I don't know. I think I do want to I think I do want to get one of these sets, but I'm just not certain which one yet.
Yeah, well, there is time, and if you're not getting Star Saber, then Charles, let's finish with you. What are your thoughts on this guy?
I am leaning more towards the Takara figure. I mean, just because I like all the accessories. I like just the extra gimmicks that they're putting into this figure, but I would like to see the apples to apples comparison of the individual limbs or components. But yeah, I mean, just my initial impressions of this and all the extra bits you're getting with this figure makes it a little bit cooler for me. The extra kibble doesn't really bother me that much, but I mean, again, it's a bit academic for me because the Trainbots are not really my thing. So I'm probably passing on both sets of combiners, but if I were going to pick one, I would probably pick the Takara Tomy one, just based on what we've seen so far and looking at all the accessories Takara Tomy is putting in with them. But yeah, I mean, this does not look as clean. The robot mode does not look as clean as the Moon Studio figures, but I do think it still looks good.
I think the face in particular looks a lot better than the Moon Studio.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to definitely be following both of these projects and looking forward to comparing them once we have all the pieces out. What
was the price for the Moon Studios figures? I forget the
$109 a piece.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this is more expensive.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
Cool. Oh, Mike, are you going to continue the train, or are you going to veer off?
Looks like I'm going to derail this train. Ba-dum-bum. Yay. So I got two topics to discuss. I got a tease and I got some color prototype images. So let's start off with the tease first. So the company 30 has been releasing some non-transforming figures. They started off with some really big scale stuff like the 12, 15-inch ones. Then they shrunk them down and gave us some 8 to 10-inch ones. But now they've shrunk it down even further to give us some non-transforming action figures. They've released images of the Bumblebee and Prime, but at the end of the video they put out, they're also teasing Megatron and Rodamus. Now, these two figures are looking like, at least from the tease images we got, are looking super detailed. And I'm kind of basing this a little bit off of the Bumblebee image that they showed, where it's supposed to be like a G1 figure, but instead of a cartoon look, they went for a more like realistic vehicle mode look, which I love so much. So when they show real images for Megatron and Rodimus, I am hoping that it looks of similar quality and comes with a similar number of accessories that the Bumblebee one does. Why don't we start off with you, Charles? Because you, of course, are the biggest fan of non-transforming figures that this podcast has. Daryl's the biggest Beast Wars fan. You're the biggest action figure fan.
Yeah, that's my bread and butter. These do look great. I mean, I was struck by these are silhouettes or I guess I don't know. What would you call these? Like black and white X-ray?
Inverted. They're inverted, actually. It looks like where there should be shadow, it's white, and where the highlight should be, they're black. So I think they inverted
negative images.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean so you can't see all the detail, but from what I see, they look really nice, really well stylized, and they do remind me quite a bit of the designs from the More Than Meets the Eye comic book. The Alex Milne designs for Megatron and Rodimus. I mean, they're not completely the same, but they just remind me of that. And those guys were like the co-captains of the Lost Light. So it's interesting to see them paired again like this. But yeah, I mean, these are cool. I mean, and apparently these are really posable and movable too, like the Bumblebee statue. So, I mean, that's definitely cool. I wonder if Megatron's fusion cannon is removable. I wonder if there's other accessories that come with them. But, I mean, it's interesting because looking at the Megatron and Rodimus figures, the Optimus Prime figure looks kind of plain, looks very much just like slightly more detailed G1 cartoon model Optimus Prime rather than super, the Rodimus and Megatron look super detailed. Maybe that's just we are not seeing everything with these, the way the negative photograph images they are, but it's interesting. But I mean, they all look great. I'm not buying these though, because I generally don't get the non-transforming figures. But for folks who like the statues and collect Transformer statues, these are probably on their radar and worth your money, I guess.
How about you, Daryl? Do you want to jump on the non-transforming figure train?
No. I had to say goodbye to most of those non-transforming figures a long time ago if I ever wanted to possibly fit anything else in this room. So these look cool. They look very cool, and if you're into this kind of stuff, fantastic. But I'm not. So yeah, they look great, and I'll admire them from afar.
Fair. And Jeremy, round out the caboose on this train.
Well, I mean, I'm not one to get these type of figures, but I have always been impressed with everything 3-0 has done. If you want the statues and this type of figure, they are known for quality, and they're officially licensed. It's fantastic what they do. I'm just not one for non-transforming figures like this, which I guess I probably should be, because I mean, my figures just sit there on the shelf, not play, I don't do anything with them more often than not. But I don't know, these are cool. They have metal pieces in it, and it's $60. You get lots of articulation, lots of accessories. I think it's fantastic. I'm wondering if ones like Megatron and Optimus will be more expensive than that. But I think, for people that have been interested in 3-0 stuff, and they're not able to spend the money, a few $100s or whatever the bigger statues cost, this is a great way for them to kind of get people into their toys or their figures. And just once you get one and you really like it, you're probably more liable to keep buying their stuff. So, it's a great idea for them. And the Bumblebee looks fantastic. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the other ones look like.
Yeah, as you said there, Jeremy, the price for the Bumblebee is $60. So the Rodamus and the Megatron might be a little bit more.
And this is only a pre-order, so it might go up.
Right.
I could see something like this being around $80 to $100. I mean, you got metal in it; it's going to jack up the price.
If it goes that high, I think I'm out. But if it does stick around like the 50 to 60 price point, this is very tempting for me. The amount of articulation is very nice. The amount of accessories you get for it is really, really nice. So, something to keep an eye on for the future. But yeah, so hopefully this we see some actual images for it, and they look as good as I hope. The next thing that I have is some colored prototype images from TFC Toys for their Stc02 Tyrant. This is the Megatron figure that is kind of based off of the G.I. Joe Dominator. And it's a triple changing Megatron figure that looks pretty damn badass. And it looks like his armor actually separates, and it can become a separate part of the figure. That is really, really neat. But yeah, it can turn into this guy kind of tank thing. It can turn into this 3 cockpit helicopter thing. And again, it's very reminiscent of the Dominator from G.I. Joe. The Destro's Dominator, I think it was called. It was one of the later line things. Let's go in reverse order this time. Jeremy, we're coming back to you on this one. Big fan of G.I. Joe? Big fan of crossovers?
Average fan of G.I. Joe, yeah. And crossovers are fun. I think this thing looks fantastic. It looks amazing. And like you said, with the armor, I like that, it's not really parts formery because they can, the armor pieces can combine to become another tank, a smaller one. There's a flying piece. It's really cool. And I love the face on this thing. This is a Megatron that loves his job. He seems very happy to be laying out all the destruction he can. So this is really cool. I really like it.
Oh yeah. It looks cool. The fact that it's kind of a G.I. Joe kind of a thing, it doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not a huge G.I. Joe fan, but I like the look of it. It's an interesting take on the Megatron design. The character or the figure all armored up looks pretty badass. To be perfectly honest, he almost doesn't look like Megatron at all. He looks like just a really cool frickin' robot. Yeah, I think he looks neat. This STC line of theirs, this is the one where their Optimus is the truck with the I don't know, Dildo Prime. That's the one that I keep thinking of. It's the one with the giant missile launcher, on the back. But I think that's the Prime for this line. Their designs are neat. They do really good job on the designs. They're really way out there. So this is no different. It looks really neat. Yeah, I like it. It's cool. It's a lot of parts though. That's I expect this would be kind of expensive.
And what about you, Charles? You a big fan of Destro?
Well, Destro is voiced by my uncle Arthur Burkhart, so I got to be a fan of him. But yeah, this figure looks really cool. I actually had to. I didn't remember the Dominator figure from G.I. Joe. I had to just look it up real quick on Google. But yeah, this does look really cool.
Really funky.
Yeah. And yeah, I do like all the accessories and parts and how you can, it looks like you can combine them outside of the base figure and as weapons and armor for the figure. So it's nice to have all that kind of versatility and replay. It's a nice play pattern with all the little different things you can do with it. And I like having a triple changer for Megatron. The helicopter reminds me of Transformers Animated, which I thought that was a really good Megatron in Transformers Animated, and a unique design with his helicopter. So I like I like that homage, and I like the overall design as well. So yeah, I mean it's a good figure. It's interesting and does some unique stuff with a Megatron figure. So that's always good. The only nitpick I would probably have is make his fusion cannon black. That's a really, it's a really deep nitpick. I mean, that doesn't matter at all. But I just like the solid black design of a fusion cannon for Megatron.
Okay,
makes it look more imposing. So, but I mean, but he's got lots of. He's got lots more than just the fusion cannon to pack there, so he's probably okay.
So yeah, I really love this figure. I'm probably, I don't know, I'm thinking of picking him up, but if I do, it'll be one of like the few third-party figures that I get. Usually I'll get maybe one a year, and this might be one of the ones I pick up. It's certainly going to be on a short list for it. Not 100% sold on it, but I do really, really love the look of it. If I saw it at a con for like a discount, I might just say, oh yeah, sure, let's just do it. But as Daryl said, price is going to be a factor on this. Excellent. Well, that brings us to you, Charles. Go ahead and wow us with what you brought to the table today.
All right. Well, we've got more information about the upcoming, I guess, Legacy is what the next Transformers line is going to be called after the War for Cybertron line is finished. So Kingdom is the last phase of the War for Cybertron line. So they're going to do, the Generations line is going to get a whole new phase, and they're calling it Legacy. I mean, this is the rumor. We haven't actually seen any real evidence of this yet until this leaked image. So, and apparently the Legacy toy line is going to comprise homages to all the different, a range of different Transformers lines. So not strictly just G1, going back to the Armada, the Unicron trilogy with Armada, Energon, and Cybertron. Probably looking elsewhere in other line at other iterations and lines. So it's kind of just going to be a free for all. Lots of different Transformers from lots of different lines to kind of capitalize on everyone's nostalgia. So not just the lame G1ers. So this looks like apparently the next Titan that's going to be coming out next year is going to be Metroplex. But not G1 Metroplex from Transformer Cybertron, which was this. I mean, I of course am not up on all the Unicron trilogy. That was when I was kind of tapped out of the animated Transformer shows. I was turned off by Armada and never really jumped back in with Energon and Cybertron, so didn't really get familiar with those lines. But this Metroplex is not, I mean, he's not a city bot. He's more like this kind of mining excavator thing with a giant buzzsaw. It looks interesting, looks cool. I mean, I had to look up the original Metroplex, the Cybertron Metroplex on the TF Wiki to get a sense of how this compares. And it does look pretty faithful to it. And apparently this Titan figure is going to be 22 inches tall. And have a price of $190 and will be released in August of 2022 next year. So, and this is at least this looks more substantial than the other leaks we've had. So I would say this is probably, I mean, unless they change things, this looks pretty probable that this is a real leak. It looks very familiar to the other leaks that we've had in past years where apparently someone was on the Skype chat with all the Hasbro designers and just took pictures and uploaded them. So Mike, what do you think of this leak and this Metroplex figure? from Transformer Cybertron. Do you have any recollection of Cybertron and this particular figure, and does this interest you at all?
Yeah, I do have a recollection of it. I did a rewatch of the Unicron trilogy earlier this year. It's rough at times, especially in the middle of Energon. But Cybertron was at least a good watch. The designs were a lot more interesting than Energon stuff. I do actually have this Metroplex, and it seems like a pretty faithful reconstruction of it too. A little hard to tell because the image is so small and a bit blurry, but but I'm glad we're getting stuff from the Unicron trilogy and stuff from all over the continuity. That I think is something that, in order to stay relevant, Transformers needs to do that, and they need to innovate and make new things as well. But I think that this is in general a good idea for the Transformers toy line. That being said, I have been burned on way too many Titan class figures already, so I will not be picking this up. Yeah, that's just me. But yeah, more power to them though. I do like I do like what I'm seeing, and I hope they do continue this trend though.
Well, Mike, the Titan class's price point is actually $10 more than the Victory Haslab backing. So you could just since you're passing on this Titan, you could just go ahead and back that Victory Saber figure right now, since you got that money there.
I could do that.
Will he? Stay tuned to find out.
Stay tuned.
You can do it, and then thank your wife for giving you the birthday present.
Daryl, what do you think of this guy?
First, let's pour one out for Scotton2 at familydollar.com.
C Sutton.
Oh, sorry, C Sutton. Yes, my dyslexia has raged again. Yes. So C Sutton2 at familydollar.com, because that guy is dead, or girl. That person is dead.
They're harsh at Family Dollar.
Yeah. It's a mob family. Yeah. But as far as the leak goes, this was rumored for quite some time to be the next Titan class. I know everyone's calling and wanting Tidal Wave, but Metroplex it is. For me, this is not very exciting. Yeah, this Metroplex is... I don't even have the original figure. I've had many an opportunity to pick one up. They come into the store that I part-time at all the time. It's just not an interesting figure. So to go ahead and make it into a Titan class is making it a much bigger figure that I'm not interested in. So I will gladly take the opportunity to save the $250+ Canadian. So I will not be getting this. It doesn't do anything. I mean, it doesn't turn into a base. It's got, I don't know.
It's a mining thingy, dude. Daryl, it mines things.
It's so boring, right?
It's got a giant buzzsaw.
Right. I get it. It's just, I don't, yeah, whatever. Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do with the Titan class. I know, like I said at the start, people really want Tidal Wave, and that would be a cool one. Maybe it's coming down the line, but I don't know. This is a big miss for me.
I suspect Tidal Wave would be the next Haslab for Transformers.
Tidal Wave would interest me.
I mean, maybe it's the whole got to do good guys first before you do bad guys. So they save Tidal Wave for 2023 for some reason.
I don't know. I would skip Tidal Wave myself too.
All right. Well, Jeremy, what do you think of this Metroplex? Do you have any interest in this?
Not really. I mean, I never really I dropped off on the Unicron trilogy during Armada. I tried again with Energon and just never caught on. So I forgot that that Metroplex was even a character in Cybertron. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it's got its share of fans, but it's not something that I'm interested in. It does seem like it is a decent choice for a Titan class figure. They're going to make it, 22 inches. It's going to be huge, but it's just not a character I have any connection to. And I do also kind of feel sympathy for the guy, but then again, he took pictures of a watermarked page, so you're dumb if you do that. It's not like he couldn't see the watermark on his own page. So yeah, it was a dumb move, but I'm glad we kind of have it. The Legacy logo looks awesome. I really like it. It looks like we're going to have a lot of kind of psychedelic type colors. You got some pinks and some blues, and reminds me of a lot of like early 90s colors, but a really cool looking logo.
All right, well, that's all our toy topics, so we will move on to trips to the store. This is where we show off all the awesome Transformer stuff we got this week. We do this as a video, so we show on YouTube in beautiful high definition. So you can see that, or you can keep listening to the show as we will describe everything we got in loving detail right here in the show in our audio. But you really should check out the video because it's, seeing is believing. But without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
All right, let's show off our stuff this week. I'm going to start first because I just got comics this week. So I finally got to the comic shop, picked up a bunch of comics in my backlog. Didn't get a chance to bag and board them. Sorry, Daryl. This is Beast Wars number 8. We reviewed that last week in Transmissions Alt Mode. Transformers number 35. We are going to review this probably coming up very soon. Transformers Shattered Glass number 2, another one that's in the queue, so we're probably going to review that in due time. And then, of course,
nice Alex Milne covers.
Yes. Homage to one of the classic Marvel Transformers issues where Optimus Prime surrendered. So very cool.
Number?
71. That's a guess. 71. That's my guess. Check it out. Wiki trackers fact check me.
God damn, Charles, you are good.
And lastly, the Transformers Halloween special featuring Starscream. So that's what we're going to review this week.
When I first saw that, I thought it was an homage to the Ratchet Megatron merging.
Oh, yeah, that does remind me of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting. I thought this was pretty good, so we'll talk about this in alt mode. All right, just comics this week. That's all I got. So I'm going to pass it over to Jeremy.
All right. First thing, this is a callback poster I got a while back. I finally got it framed, so I'm going to show that
Studio
off.
Series Cup?
No. I showed that last week. This is my 86 movie poster. Let me move back.
Ooh.
Smash.
That's really cool.
So I finally got it framed. It's glow in the dark, which is awesome. All the white parts in there turn green in the dark and looks really cool. So I have that. And then New York Comic Con was this last week, and IDW had a sale on their store. In addition to having convention edition of the Halloween special, which has not come in yet because I ordered it separately. They were doing a sale on previous convention exclusives, and I don't remember if I have these or not, but they were cheap enough. So I have Transformers vs. Terminator number 1, the Livio Ramondelli cover. Back to Future Transformers. Is this the Andrew Griffith?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Andrew Griffith cover here. And then Transformers number 18. I think, is this Sarah Pietrojoshi?
I think so. We did get that last time.
Okay. Any duplicates, I'm going to just put in our prize vault. And because the shipping shipping was kind of expensive. So I'm like, well, I'm going to add a couple other things. So I got these 2 Autobot and Decepticon logo pins. They were cheap, didn't add anything to the shipping. So, why not? Collectible pins are great. And then the next day, the convention edition for this year's Halloween special went on sale. So I'll have that next week. And then this came in, and I pre-ordered this thing from Entertainment Earth and didn't realize that I had my old address. Thankfully, the U.S. Post Office is still good for something, and they forwarded it to my new address. So I was afraid this was going to go back to Entertainment Earth. But this is the War for Cybertron Galvatron, the recolor version, which I haven't opened yet. But here he is in his gray and purple. He's got that green matrix. So looking forward to getting this guy out.
It's very cool.
I don't have the regular colored one yet.
G1 colors.
Yeah, it looks a lot better in person than it did on the photos online. I think the grays and the purple, it works really good in person. All right, well, that's all I got this week.
Pretty good. All right, Daryl, you're up next.
Okay, so I have a couple comics as well. This is the Halloween special that we're going to do this week, and I got the main cover. There's only the main and the RI this week, and I got the main. Then I got cover A of Shattered Glass number 2. This is Alex's cover, and it's just awesome. So really happy to have that one. My toys this week, I have another Beast Wars figure. This is the Fox Kids Transmetal Rhinox.
So it was advertised as the TV station or the network that was airing it, but it was a character that never got a Transmetal figure or form in the show.
He's this figure is known to have pretty severe vac metal chrome issues. This one's pretty good considering there's some cracking going on with it, but there's another one of these at the store, and it's there's very little of the chrome still left on it. So I'm pretty happy to have one with some chrome left on it. So
the difference between that and the original is just the color?
Yeah. But the main thing that I wanted to show is something that I did pick up last week at the Ontario Collecticon. This is a figure that I was kind of had on my radar for a bit, and all it took was for me to see it sitting there on a table, for me to say, shit, I'm going to get it. This is Mastermind Creations Optuspex.
Oh.
And this guy is just fucking awesome. He just has some of the most incredible articulation you're ever going to see in a figure, and he comes with an insane amount of guns, but I only use the one. You can put some on his arms here. Yeah, he's pulling off some of the most amazing moves. The ability to bend in this guy is incredible. His arm articulation, his leg articulation, everything moves on him. And then the transformation is really quite good as well. I'm really impressed with how much of this guy moves around,
and his ability to flip us off.
Oh, is that what? Oh shit, he's doing. Oh, Prime, Prime. That's so rude.
You gotta watch out.
Prime's he's in his old age. He's gotten surly. One of the parts that I really liked is during the transformation, you actually have to assemble this to put him in robot mode. Is his knee has this piston kind of ish thing, and it's really kind of cool when you put it together. But when you transform him, you actually do separate the legs in the middle, and that actually comes apart. So you would take the piston apart here, and then you transform it away. So it's a really cool transformation. The legs, they almost completely fold inside out. But I'm really impressed with this figure. It's very cool. Very, very cool.
And this is the for those who are listening and not watching, this is the War Within Optimus Prime design as a third-party figure, and this is the super articulated figure that we talked about a few months ago. It was really cool.
Yes, and they just announced the Nemesis version of it, right? So, Yeah, an absolutely incredible figure, and I'm really happy to have it. It's one of those ones that, you know, he as that it is his design. He really doesn't have a real secure, like, you know, that's where he's going on that shelf, because that's the War for Cybertron's shelf. I don't really have one of those, so he's going to go on a shelf that's just kind of like odds and sods kind of a deal. But he's incredible. He's a really cool figure, and definitely one that if you had in your collection, you'd have a good time with.
Nice. He certainly looks good.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I learned a new Canadian phrase, odds and sods. That's one we don't.
Right. Yeah.
There you go.
I was gonna let it go.
That's I think it's a takeover from British culture.
In American, we say odds and ends.
And we say that too.
All right, with the anchor position, we are going over to Mike.
Suck it, Daryl.
Better be good. It better be good than Optuspex.
I don't know if I actually can compete with that, but I'm going to give it a shot, though. So thanks to Daryl, he actually got me a whole bunch of Creo figures. There we go. A whole bunch of little Creos that I had been missing from my collection. I'm not going to show off all of them just because they got like 17 or 18 of these bad boys. But there's a big chunk of the ones I had missing from my set. So thank you, Daryl, for helping me out with all of these ones. I am that much closer to getting a full set of Creos.
No problem.
Thanks to Dr. Pants to help me start the custom combiner that I am putting together. I showed off the centerpiece to the combiner, the Battlecore Prime, a few months back. So I got the first limb with this one. That's the first aid. These guys, the Combiner Wars limbs are getting super hard to find and super expensive now. It's kind of irritating. But what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to do a Streetwise, a first aid for the arms, and then I'm going to do an off-road and a trailbreaker for the the legs, and then combine all of that together with the Ex Mortis kit, the Ex Mortis upgrade kit, and then a third party just like feet and hands thing, because the feet and hand sucks for Combiner Wars. So thank you again, Dr. Pants, for continuing my journey on that one. This guy you may recognize. He is Classics Prime from 2010, 2011, kind of an old figure, but he is decked out in something new over here, the Parallax upgrade kit from Fans Project. It was up on clearance on BBTS a while back, and I thought, hey, this is like $15. Why not? Let me go ahead and pick it up and see how it looks on my Prime. I'm not
$15.
$15, yeah.
Fuck.
I'm not the biggest fan of his guns, just because they look like exactly what they are, the top of the truck separated and folded up like in a whole bunch of different ways. But yeah, overall the figure does look really, really neat with the upgrade kit. It's got like a lot of extra beefiness to his legs and his feet, adds just a lot of depth and bulk to him and everything. It does make the transformation a little bit more difficult, especially with his shoulders up here. The panel they added in, that's just, that's a bit of a rough transformation there. But I mean, overall, I mean, they pretty much cover the entire vehicle mode on this figure. And his hands, what they do is they actually they fold under him in his truck mode to act like those like gas canisters. They stick out to the sides, but since they fold in, it doesn't like stick out too much. So I was pleasantly surprised when I saw that. But yeah, BBTS had that for a deep discount, so I was like, you know what? Might as well give it a shot. Even if I don't like it, I'm only on $15. I'm not going to complain.
It is still on their site for $15.
Yep. In fact, actually, this was the almost the last armor set that I wanted to get from Fans Project. The only one I'm missing is that Rodamus set, the Protector armor. I have all the other ones that I want. That Protector armor is hard to find and pricey nowadays.
Really? I have that.
Yeah, it's out of stock everywhere, so it's only secondary markets. And the last thing I'm going to show off is, because since we were talking about a Titan-class Metroplex on the show today, I dug out my Cybertron Metroplex. I do have his big, like, drill axe thing accessory. It's as tall as him, but it is packed away in a box. And he's a beefy guy over here. Very well articulated, very loud ratchets. And because of his transformation, he actually has like an ab crunch, except it goes backwards. So he can do he can do like limbo.
He can do robot yoga.
Yes, he can. Because of his transformation, he's actually really, really well articulated, even more so than a typical like Cybertron figure. But yeah, just for size and presence, it's a really like awesome figure. I mean, you can kind of see just the actual size, head for scale. So yeah, pretty good figure.
Your head is not 22 inches high, I don't believe. So.
I don't know. I do have quite a big head. But all right. Well, that's me for this week. I'm going to have some really cool stuff coming up that I am saving, and I'm sure I'll pick up some more stuff at TFCon.
Oh yeah, stealth announcement. Mike is going to be at TFCon with me.
Yes. So if you are going to be at TFCon, come and say hi to everyone, especially me, but also Charleston.
Not me or Daryl.
Somebody had to take my spot.
You can still say hi to them. Just no one's going to answer you.
Leave us here. We'll be covering PulseCon.
Well, that will do it for this episode of Trips to the Store.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
All right, we're back from our trips to the store, and we will finish up the show with convention news.
All right. New York Comic Con was this last week, as I mentioned in Trips to the Store. And we had... Hasbro didn't really have a presence there, but some other licensees did, and Minimates had a display of their Diamond Selects Toys Transformers Minimates Wave 2. So these are some classic G1 figures. We have Grimlock, Megatron, Soundwave, and Blaster. And, these are obviously non-transforming. They are all basically the same form, kind of, very generic looking, but I think they're kind of cool. They all have like little open hands where they can hold something. Looks like Blaster comes with a little boombox of his alt mode. Grimlock has his sword and a gun. Megatron has his mace, and it's kind of obscured, but it's I think his kind of lightsaber thing. And then they also have in package a set with Optimus, Shockwave, Bumblebee, and Starscream. I think we've talked about those before. These are cool. They're probably not that expensive if you want to have something on your desk or something for the little kids to play with where they can't really break. Yeah, these I'm sure will be out in the next few months. And if you're a Minimates collector, here you go.
So the first wave, the Optimus, Shockwave, Bumblebee, Starscream one, showed up at the comic store that I go to this past week, and they put a price on it.
Oh,
I wasn't shocked because I kind of figured they were going to be expensive. They were definitely expensive. $33.99 Canadian for the Wave 1 figures. So yeah, it's Canadian, so it's going to be a little bit more than what the US price is going to be, but that's a pretty hefty price. So look for these to be around 25 or so US, maybe 22.
$27.56 on Amazon.
Ooh.
That's that. Yeah, so okay. It is kind of expensive.
Yeah, so it's a lot more than I would have thought they were going to be, but it's they are starting to hit, so if you are into these things, then don't expect them to be like $10. You know, they're kind of dear.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pack of 4. They're 2 inches tall. So it's a lot of money for tiny figures. But I mean, for collectibles, I mean, you kind of do expect some stuff like that. But maybe keep them away from the kids now after seeing the price. But that is all we got for convention news this week.
And that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions. As always, we give shout outs to our Masterpiece Donatreons. So huge thanks to John 4X11 Good, Dinobot Maximize, Demon Tech 82, and Septimus Soulvein. That was Curtis. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for continuing to support the show. We really appreciate it. You guys are at our highest level, so that's why we give you a shout out at the end of every episode. You can also buy some merchandise from our TeePublic store. That's at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. We mentioned in trips to the store, we've got lots of shirts, masks, other designs. There is a sale, I believe, this week at TeePublic where everything is 35% off. So this is an opportune time to make some purchases and then have those things ready for TFCon Baltimore in a couple of weeks. So I think if you order now, you should be able to get your stuff before TFCon Baltimore and be able to show it off. So think about that. And Mike, thank you for joining us this week. Why don't you plug all your stuff online in addition to all the awesome goings on at Empire of Rust?
Well, Empire of Rust is always the big thing I want to plug around here. But yeah, so of course Empire of Rust, but in addition, I do some toy photography on the side, so you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Minervion, that's Minervion, on pretty much all the social media platforms that you like, and listen to Empire of Rust and our Transformers RPG podcast. Losing my voice here. But yeah, that's me.
Awesome. And that is it for this episode of Transmissions. Thanks everyone for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.
Everyone's
Apollo's here, so if Mike suddenly can't continue mid-show, we have someone that can just jump in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is Mike not here yet? Oh, let's bring in Apollo then.
do we need to invite him? Mike's not a guest host.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Daryl still did something wrong.
Likely. As I'm in my 40s now, that sounds exhausting. As fun as I would think that would be in my 20s or late teens, now I'm in my 40s. I don't want to do that.
I thought I was the old guy here. Daryl also has a newborn.
I can't handle it, Charles. I mean, no. I don't know what pills you're on, but I can't deal with that right now, you know?
All natural, baby. Okay, well, let's jump right in. Let's not waste any more time. Just 15 minutes late. That's a good day.
That's on time for us.
And knowing is half the battle?
G.I. Joe.
I believe knowing is all the battle in this one.
G.I. Daryl.
I think C. Sutton too probably. I'm sure he or she didn't directly share this on the internet, but probably sent it to a friend saying, "Look at this! This is so cool. Now don't share this on the internet, please. I'm just giving this to you in confidence," and their confidence was not.
Even then, I guarantee the excuse is going to come out like, "I was hacked."
Yeah,
that's a go-to excuse now for any kind of stupid mistakes like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was hacked because I showed it to my friends. Yeah, C. Sutton too. Goodbye and good luck.
I'll pour one out for you.
If I count everything individually, I have 20 things.
All right. Is this the Creo stuff?
It is, yeah. I got like 17 Creos.
And we're back.
On NPR?
Welcome back, everybody. It's good
Today
to be
on
here.
Transformers Talk, we're going to discuss why.
Talk Transformers.
We're talking about how Mike won't buy us the Victory Saber, so Jeremy can buy a second one.
Today on Transformers Talk, we're going to talk with noted skeptic Snazzy Mike and ask him, why hasn't he backed Starsaber yet? Hi, yeah, I'm really glad to be here. You'll be happy to know that I did just back him.
Hey! Yay! All right.
Hi, Mike. First time caller, long time listener. How does it feel to be a sheep now, following everybody?